welcome to the show Maureen Callahan from The Nerve. How you doing, Maureen? Good to see you.
I'm great, Billy. I'm even more electrified now. You're coming on a little strong. We should be podcast married.
Podcast. I made that term up. I don't know.
This is our first virtual date.
I think we share subs. I don't know. I think we share people that go back and forth. Nice to meet you. Congratulations,
Lovely
by the way.
to meet you.
I love following your stuff. I love your action. You're doing so well. And
Thank you.
And it's because you got that. Your voice is unique. You work with now. You're in the Megyn Kelly family, right? You're in
the MK Media Network. Yep.
So is she technically like the boss? Does she have staff meetings? Are there good retreats? What are the bennies?
You know, Megan's a great boss in that I swear this is my favorite thing. She's literally like, whatever you want to do it. We have complete editorial control. We often will do pieces, not often, but we will regularly do pieces that maybe are the opposite of maybe something or someone she's had on her show. And it's all good. It's like the best in like intellectual freedom. And I think that's kind of why it's working. It's completely authentic. The Nerve is just the Nerve.
How'd you come up with the name, The Nerve?
I really thought about it, Billy. I really thought, because I really wanted a good name. And I was thinking like, what says just sort of like balls to the wall, right? Like no filter.
You got some nerve.
The nerve, right? And it's got that dual meaning, right? We're striking a nerve, we're hitting a nerve, but we've got the nerve to say the thing. So yeah, it kind of fit.
I think there's a lot in a title. You know what I mean? It's got to fit the person, and I think it's part of the success, right? I mean, it is perfect for you. What do you think of Hot Mics?
I think it's a brilliant name. How long did it take you to come up with that?
You know, I thought about it. I'm like, enough of this shit. I think I'm gonna lean. This is mine. This is mine to. What is it? I'm gonna take it back. It's going to be mine.
You're going to reclaim your narrative, Billy?
Reclaim the narrative. So it says, it's Hot Mics. This time he knows the mics, they're hot, but this time he knows they're on. So it's been good. Yeah, no, I think a great friend who actually I was just kind of referring to, but my friend Steve Levitan, who is the creator producer of Modern Family, he came up with a great name that no one's used yet, and since I've moved on, we can share it with a friend if they want. Not Yet Canceled. I thought that was pretty good for a podcast.
That's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit dangerous.
Right. Not yet canceled, but every day we'll see. We'll find out the next day if that still remains the case. You're in New York. The Knicks are on fire, except for they ran into a roadblock last night. Trump was in the crowd. Do we think he was the cooler? There's people going back and forth as to whether the crowd was booing him when he saluted and stood up and he came in, or if they were cheering him. Have you? Do you know?
It's what we in New York call a Bronx cheer, which is a boo. It was a boo. And I don't know if you watched any of the game, Billy, but I thought it was really interesting that, he was up in a box and they really never cut to him. We saw more of like Mariska Hargitay, of Timothy Shamalama Ding Dong, John McEnroe, I think was there. Derek Jeter was there. We saw more of that celebrity front row than we did of Trump.
Ben Stiller, of course. No Trump. I think they just look. Yeah, we know how people feel. They're either gonna, he's gonna have his section, and then you're gonna have the other section that can't say. Can we just be about the game? I thought that was a good editorial decision not to include him. What do you think about? Are you seeing what's going on my coast here? You and I are coast to coast right now. Are you seeing what's going on here in Los Angeles? That Spencer Pratt. When you heard Spencer Pratt was running for mayor of Los Angeles, I mean. You probably were like, wait, what? Do you have any feelings about him? He's now in third place.
Yeah, it's interesting. My first real knowledge of his run came via the New York Times, which over the winter ran like a major, it was like a 5,000 to 8,000 word piece on his improbable run for mayor. Could this reality star do it? That dam has been burst. Trump was a reality star, exactly. Okay? Let's all stop clutching our pearls. Oh my God. Yeah. Reality stars running for office. He had, I thought, the great gift of not just being an extremely effective communicator, which, when you're running a campaign, that's like 90% of it. But he was speaking very commonsensically, crime, homelessness, the rampant incompetence that led to the Palisades fires, drug addiction. The last time I was in LA, I'm from New York City. I've seen a lot. I was shocked by what I was seeing on the streets of Los Angeles, what I was seeing near the Staples Center. Yeah. And I feel, it's kind of like you were just talking about the Knicks game. The other politician in the crowd was Mayor Mamdani, who is a socialist, right? So you had the two opposites in the crowd, or in their boxes, as it were. But New York does the same thing. They elect the people who cause the problems or are just going to intensify the problems.
We have the same thing. I mean, right now, Spencer Pratt has fallen to third, and he will fall further and further. And the woman who overtook him is, if you've got Mamdani, we've got Ramdani. This is Nithya Raman, and she is like nobody knows who she is. But the DSA, I mean, she's literally unknown, and they prop her up. They got a hell of a ground game. They sign up, the petitions. They're all over the city getting people to it's called harvesting ballots. And she is, I think, she has a very good shot of overtaking Karen Bass, who's, institutional. Then you got LA and New York with two, socialism running both cities. It's almost unthinkable, but that's what we got going on. It's nuts.
It's wild. It feels like a self-destructive urge at work, And I think, New York came off of Bill de Blasio, who did a lot to destroy the city.
He worked hard at it.
He did till the end. Towards the end, it was I don't know if you remember this, but it was lockdown. It was COVID. In New York, we had tractor trailers outside of hospitals and nursing homes. Bodies were piled up in refrigerated trucks. And this guy was taking, Billy, daily constitutionals through Prospect Park. He needed 3 hours to amble and think. The city, it's a similar thing, like a city on fire, literally, metaphorically. Let's just take our time with this. Let's think it through.
Yeah. It's we'll see what happens, but because Karen Bass, our mayor, is pretty entrenched. But look, you and I cover the Blake Lively thing. We've covered it from the beginning. I think we see it from the same angle, but we're at the very end. We're like at the 1-inch line. All we need is for this judge, Louis Lyman, to say, "No, girl, you're not getting your legal bills paid for. You're out of here. You've wasted everybody's time. Get out." It seemed to me like he was setting himself up for that, right? He had everybody. They get 2 pages. You get 30 minutes with me, no more. He said to Mike Gottlieb, her lawyer, the judge said, "Dude, she could have ended this a long time ago." It seems like he's had enough. Why do you think that he is not delivering the final blow here?
Well, isn't she also, Billy? Hasn't she filed a defamation suit in Los Angeles under this new? The author of this legislation is a woman who was a victim of sexual harassment, and this bill is designed to hinder any false accusations. So if I say, Billy, if I try to take you to court and say Billy Bush did this to me, the factor that will make me think twice if I'm making that up is that if you're found innocent, not guilty, you can then countersue me for defamation, and you are eligible for not just your legal fees, but that's times 3. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's supposed to really hinder this kind of stuff. Blake Lively, to me, this feels very personal. This feels emotionally juvenile. It's kind of like Brad and Angelina, right? Like they won't let it go. Let it go. There's something that is illogical here. There's something that defies rationality. Cut your losses, try to salvage what's left of your career and reputation, and let it go.
It's like Lance Armstrong. I call it the Lance Armstrong syndrome, where he got so deep into his lie, and he was like, it's past the point of return. He's like, I'm so in it now. I have to finish the job. Blake had so many off ramps along the way to just. She should have in the beginning been like, you know what? It was a heated set. Let's just move on. Go move on and make a freaking sequel. I mean, you have a giantly successful film here. And she just was so dug in and determined. What do you think the motivation is? Do you think the motivation was just to mow, like this guy's like number 4 on the 2 or whatever, 3 on the call sheet of Jane the Virgin. He's a nobody. I'm fucking Ryan Reynolds' wife, dude. I'm Gossip Girl. I'm a way bigger deal than this guy. Let me just put him in his place. Is it pure narcissism and ego?
You know, I loved reading through a lot of the text messages and emails that were released through Discovery. Mm-hmm. Do you remember, Billy, seeing this text that she sent to Justin Baldoni early on? And they're sort of going back and forth about the script or the shoot, whatever. And she says something like, oh yeah, I can be sort of biting in my humor. And she goes, but never with teeth.
Oh.
And I thought to myself, I think this woman had feelings for him or was really attracted to him and wanted to get a little something going, and he rejected her. And I think that's the narcissistic wound.
Wow. And you think Ryan sniffed that out, and so he swung into his, mercurial best and crushed him from his side? Because, I mean...
Yeah, and maybe part of the problem is Blake told Ryan this lie.
Yeah.
Ryan, the problem is this guy won't stop. Yeah, he won't stop coming on to me. We've got to get this under control, She
flew on her private plane with the kids, and she invited Baldoni. There was no Ryan there. They have shared 4 hours, and, anyone who makes you feel creepy or has been, inappropriate with you in the workplace, you're not going to invite him on your jet for a, closed 4-hour session.
Such a great point. And I believe Baldoni also said there was some sort of exchange where it was a double entendre. It was clear, in my opinion, she was coming on to him, and he kind of shut it down by bringing up his wife and children.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just don't think
went
she's
out of
used
his
to
way
that.
to do that.
I don't think she was used to that. Remember The Word when they were shooting The Town, that great Ben Affleck film?
Yeah.
Was that Blake and Ben were having a hot affair?
Oh, totally.
And you look at those photos of them on the streets of Boston shooting, and the body language is so telling. And Jennifer Garner, allegedly, reportedly dropped everything and got on a plane to get that under control.
Yeah.
I just don't think Blake is used to being told no by men she sets her sights on.
She met the same thing on Green Lantern, and she was told yes. And there's the father of her 4 kids, but...
Who, by the way, was married to Scarlett Johansson at the time.
Oh, my God. Scarlett Johansson.
I know. We're building a nice case, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was a little Leo stopover for her, DiCaprio. That was a quick little pit stop. She said, if Ryan is the jealous type, he must. I mean, does he ever drink a little too much aviation gin and think about Ben Affleck and Leo DiCaprio and just a lot of these handsome leading men?
Billy, what do you think of Hugh Jackman's continuing friendship with these two? What do you make of this?
As soon as you said Hugh Jackman, I think of just Peter Allen and just they have a real. I'm so tired. When I used to work for for Extra. I was doing that. And I was taking a nice check from them, but I would have to be like, what do you think of the Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman bromance? It's not a bromance. They're not bros. These guys are, they're super metro, and they're very into each other. And I admire Hugh in one way. They're so toxic, and he's still sort of hanging in there, with them. He's that hooked on the couple, especially him.
That's what's so strange about it. He's so vocal about being in their camp. I saw him on the Today Show, and he was talking about how Blake, who attended the Met Gala without her husband, Ryan is publicly keeping his distance from his wife, but Hugh Jackman is not. And he's going on about how awesome Blake is and how she asked him to help with her dress on the stairs, the steps of the Met, and how honored he was, but how he had to place the dude call to Ryan to make sure it was okay to touch Blake. Like
You're not
nobody
a
thinks
dude.
Hugh Jackman is attracted to Blake in this couple. Nobody.
He does have his girlfriend. I mean, it's interesting. Sutton Foster. He went. I'm not going to say it. But
Wait, now you got to say it. What?
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's like it seems like they're soulmates in theatrical performance. Right? This is their maybe the perfect relationship. Just doesn't feel hot.
It does not feel. It reminds me of last summer. Uma Abedin, Hillary Clinton's body woman, lo these many years,
Love
and
her.
she
I'm
married
so obsessed
George
with Hillary.
Soros' son.
Yeah.
And you look at those photos, and Billy, it screams crackling physical attraction. It does not. It does not. It looks like they met yesterday. But yeah, I mean, maybe the commonality with Sutton and Hugh is just their vaulting ambition.
There you go. This is so in the comment section here. There's Donna. Yay! You finally got Maureen. They love you, Maureen.
I love them.
Here's a couple. I loved Peter Allen. Fine, Sharon. Good. We all did. But, Hugh wants to be him. Christina, Hugh is lost. All right, my cat, 100%. He is so jealous of Scarlett's success. Ooh, Maureen, you are cracking me up. There's Mary Trotman. We love Mary. She's in the comments section. She's part of the family here. Crying Reynolds couldn't handle Scarlett's successful career that was about to bypass his own. That's tough, though, when you got two people who are very successful,
I could weep.
narcissists.
I could weep.
Yeah.
Your major movie stars pulling in multi-million-dollar paychecks, and you're gorgeous, and somebody's a little bit more successful than you are. Over at the Nerve, Billy, we always refer to Ryan Reynolds by his proper title, which is psycho-arsonist Ryan Reynolds, because when he was a child, he burned down his elementary school in Canada, and he has bragged about it in print media.
Yeah.